What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and before we've even seen one moment of footage from Amazon's Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series, so many fans already know that it's going to be a disaster, that they're going to do everything they can to destroy the legacy and the lore of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. And the thing is, the people that are making this garbage, they knew that that would be the reaction from actual fans. That's why they dedicated some time in the Vanity Fair article where they shared a bunch of exclusive pictures and details. They spent some time in there specifically addressing people, referring to them as trolls. Oh, these people, they're just trolls. They're racist, bigot trolls. They're not actual fans. No, the actual fans can tell when you're moving away from the lore, when you're doing things that are completely contrary to the universe that Tolkien set up. So it did not take long for people to recognize what happened. And of course, it's this: Lord of the Rings fans being called racist, sexist, bigots. Star Wars fans, first time. It's the same exact playbook that we're gonna go through here. And the reason that so many people are mad is because in this Vanity Fair article, these pictures, they showed the diversity they showed and the statements that they made that go contrary to the world that Tolkien created. There is no doubt about that. I mean, this is the quote. They know it. It only felt natural to us as an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like. Tolkien is for everyone. Lord of the Rings has always been for everyone. That doesn't mean that the people that are described in the book look like everyone. Like, hobbits are short people with massive hairy feet. Like massive hairy feet, right? It's not set in the real world. It is set in a fantasy story, but it's a story that was crafted by Tolkien to take myths and things like this and legends from different cultures, specifically European cultures. That's how he crafted this. But you are doing everything you can to move away from that. And if someone doesn't like it, if someone doesn't like the fact that you have a female dwarf that doesn't have a beard, contrary to lore, and is black, contrary to lore, that they might have a problem and realize that you are destroying this in the name of diversity and inclusion. And what I loved to see was one fan site that's actually standing up for real fans. Lord of the Rings fan site torches Amazon's new Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power series. We know there's some people out there like this, the OneRing.net, these cucks. Homophobia, racism, and misogyny have no place in Lord of the Rings fandom. 20 years ago, they claimed Ian McKellen's gay Gandalf would ruin Tolkien's legacy. Sounded stupid then and still does now. Same types of people making ignorant comments now get a swift block and ban. Stop making this stupid comparison. Were there probably 7 or 8 people on an anonymous message board somewhere that said, I don't like Ian McKellen because he's gay? There may have been. Stop pretending like there was backlash about this. Stop telling this lie. That series, Lord of the Rings trilogy, and specifically Gandalf himself, these are some of the most beloved things in recent cinematic history. Like, universally praised. This is stupid, a stupid argument and a lie from these people that's meant to gaslight. And for a lot of dumb people, it works. But there is one site out there, the OneRing.com, who's calling these people out. Look at this entire thread. I love this. We're going to read all through this. Read the Vanity Fair article. There's a lot of red flags. My thoughts follow. Amazon quote, but really, does it feel like Middle Earth if you don't have hobbits or something like hobbits in it? Tolkien quote, but there are, I fear, no hobbits in the Silmarillion. He specifically laid that out. There should not be hobbits during this time. But of course, they put hobbits in there because fuck the lore, fuck everything Tolkien wrote. We're going to do what we want. Amazon. This material is sometimes scary, but it's also heartwarming and life-affirming and optimistic. It's about friendship, and it's about brotherhood and underdogs overcoming great darkness. Tolkien. In the history of the three jewels, there's little fun or earthiness, but mostly grief and disaster. So another difference. Amazon. It only felt natural for us that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect the world what the world actually looks like. Tolkien. I was from early days grieved by the poverty of my own beloved country. It had no stories of its own, bound up with its tongue and soil, not of the quality that I sought and found as an ingredient in legends of other lands. It was for the people of the UK, it was for the people of Europe, right? Shockingly enough, Amazon doesn't give a fuck. And that doesn't mean that other people can't enjoy it now, because again, there are so many different people that are Lord of the Rings fans. In the same way that I don't have to be a black person to think that Black Panther's a good movie. I don't have to be an Asian person to appreciate like a kung fu or martial arts movie or a samurai movie or something like that. That is small-minded thinking, but that's what these people are. Low IQ and small-minded, and they think everyone's as racist as they are. Let's continue. Amazon. Galadriel is a commander of the Northern armies. Galadriel is hunting down the last remnants of their collaborators who claimed the life of her brother. Tolkien says, looking, tell me where you find that part where Galadriel leads her armies into battle, okay? So that's them saying Tolkien never, ever mentioned Galadriel going into battle or leading armies into battle in that type of way. They're making it up. There's so much more. Compressing the storyline into a few years. That's another thing. This entire thing is supposed to take place over like 3,500 years, something like that. They're slamming it into a few years. Because, well, you wouldn't want these people, these humans you get attached to die. We couldn't do that in a series. So we're going to do something else. Oh my gosh, adding new forbidden romances. The show's being run by J.J. Abrams' acolytes. Elrond is a canny young architect and politician. I know a lot of folks like Vanity Fair will say that what I'm pointing out is a reflexive attack from trolls, the anonymous online kind. What I say is not reflexive or anonymous. It comes from a love of the world Tolkien created over his entire lifetime. I believe Tolkien knew what he was doing when he wrote his stories, and for Amazon to come in and inject their own modern sensibilities while throwing ad hominem attacks at Tolkien fans with deeply vested interests, it won't end well for them. When the original Lord of the Rings films released, New Line Cinema knew the OneRing.com were purists. They still engaged us and certainly didn't call us names. They never asked us to take down our complete list of film changes. They knew they needed fans on their side. Amazon can make as many claims that what they've created really is Tolkien's world. Half of Tolkien's fandom won't buy it though. My expectations weren't high, but they just dropped much, much lower. And then points out something that this is so clear and obvious to anyone. Elrond, the Herald of Gil-galad, who fought in the Last Alliance, is now a canny architect. Galadriel, who never fought in the War of Wrath or Last Alliance, is now a commander of armies. It's the woke rewriting of Tolkien into beta males and alpha females. Real fans are tearing this apart. And what I mean by real fans is I mean people who have a knowledge of the work, right? You know, you can be a fan if you just saw a Lord of the Rings movie and you're a fan of that, and all of a sudden you're interested in this. Well, when I'm saying real fans, I'm talking about people who actually care about this, actually care about what Tolkien wrote, care about all of what he wrote, not just picking and choosing, which is what these people are doing and trying to spin his words. The OneRing.net, these people who are constantly calling anyone who disagrees with their leftist talking points racist and bigots, they are doing everything they can to spin it and shill for Amazon because these people are absolute cucks. This is pathetic. It will not end well for Amazon. This is not going to go the way they think it is. They have abandoned Tolkien's legacy. They have abandoned the fandom. And now they're just looking for woke virtue signaling points. Something that doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings, doesn't look like Lord of the Rings, and won't be received as well as Lord of the Rings. But they got to stamp Lord of the Rings on there because you couldn't do shit without that brand name. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.